NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications option. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices, I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. But you know, they wouldn't let you have it any other way. Stepping back from what you lack, the past just pulls you back in again. Save me from myself, it just carries on, just carries on.
Good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters. It is the Fans Forum on Monday night, and as always, a packed forum to give their views on quite a painful defeat yesterday at West Ham. And Darren and I were there front row to watch it. Well, Darren was front row, I was up in the gods, but either way, it was painful watching no matter where you watched it from yesterday. And first off, we will do a post-mortem on that, Darren, and I will start with myself, Darren, first of all, because you and I had plenty of time to chat yesterday about that. I think the one thing when you're at the game, you don't get a chance to watch any replays until you get in the car or you get in the train or whatever. But I think the big thing we were talking about when I was coming out the ground was, why the hell did Pope start punching the ball again? I mean, catching the ball, he's been catching, he's been doing quite well. I just didn't understand it, and I didn't watch Match of the Day last night. I didn't watch anything until this morning. I got back and watched it this morning, put things on, different perspective, cooler head, and then I listened to the experts, Rob Green, former goalkeeper. I listened to Shea Given, former goalkeeper of Newcastle, of course, and they all criticised, his punching, but they also criticised the way that he stands when he's diving to his right or diving to his left. They picked apart the way that he's positioning himself on his right foot, something that only goalkeepers and coaches who coach goalkeepers would really know, and saying he's not giving himself a chance to cover all the angles when the way that the ball dipped, he wasn't in the right position to stop it going in. So it was interesting listening to them, but rest assured, and I know Dave will be in the chat, who is a big Nick Pope fan, this wasn't Nick Pope's fault. He played a part in a team that couldn't play football yesterday for whatever reason. They turned up, that's about it. They turned up, they got off the coach, they got stripped. The rest of the game, they did absolutely nothing. Nobody comes out of that game with any credit. I think Malik Chow, probably the only one who you could say put in some type of performance with respect. But I wouldn't say that he was a man of the match. I didn't want to give anybody man of the match. I don't think anybody deserved it. And the mystery of Newcastle United's away form continues. Why can't we win an away game? We've not won an away game now since April. Statistically, why have we not done it? It's because we can't score goals. We're not scoring goals. And that's basically it. It's as simple as that. We can't score goals on the road You don't score goals, you don't win games, and we're often going to concede. I think as well, on reflection, and I haven't heard any other podcast that do it yet. There are one or two others who I watch, as you know, Craig Hope. I do watch the Geordie Journos. I haven't seen anybody give West Ham the praise that they deserved, because Nuno Espirito Santo set up that side to stop Joe Linton and Bruno. And that was probably Bruno's worst game of the season. It was Newcastle's worst game of the season, but it was probably Bruno's worst game. And I know one or two people that I've spoken to have said, well, Bruno either has a brilliant game or a terrible game. There's no in between. But yeah, West Ham nullified him and frustrated our midfield yesterday. Eddie Howe can't be exempt of criticism. I think Eddie picked the team that he thought could win, but ultimately he's in charge of the substitutions. I think he got the substitutions wrong yesterday. I think he made a pig's ear of a lot of those substitutions yesterday. I think that having Tonali revert from central midfield to right back, I'm scratching my head at that. I don't know why on earth he put him in at right back. I know that he tried Murphy there first. I know that he tried Malik Chow there first. But our best central midfielder should not be playing right back at any time. It just didn't make sense. The substitutions didn't make sense. I agreed with him taking those players off early. I thought 3 substitutions at half time was correct, but I didn't understand why he took both forwards off. Maybe we'll find out from Eddie tomorrow that Voldemort carrying a knock or something. I thought Gordon deserved to be hooked, but I didn't think Voldemort has not got any chance in any of the games recently because he's not getting the service. But I didn't understand why he took Voldemort off as well. So maybe we'll find out more from Eddie tomorrow. Murphy playing extremely well considering the kid's injured, still carrying this injury, scored a goal. But once again, when that second opportunity came along, he fluffed his lines. That could have changed the whole concept of the game as well. Botman, not Rolls Royce at all yesterday. Again, somebody who count yourself unlucky with the own goal. He was trying to get back, but he's looking very slow at the moment and sluggish. But then so did the whole team yesterday. So it's not a slagging match. It's not slagging the players off. It's constructive criticism, and it's fair criticism because a lot of us, especially, and can I just pay a tribute to those people who were injured in the LNER train situation that developed in Huntington over the weekend. But a lot of us still made our way down there, by train, by car, by train and car, like me and Darren did. But yes, you pay your money and you take your choice. When you go to games, you support your team through thick and thin. But that wasn't a great reward for us who all spent our hard-earned cash going down there and trying to support the team. And it was, we all felt let down. I haven't seen anybody coming back, and I haven't spoken to anybody the day that went to the match who didn't feel let down. So not very often I get it off my chest, Darren, but I wanted to make sure that you weren't ploughing a lone furrow, and I had to change my mind overnight. So yeah, Darren, pick the bones out.
Well, first of all, Steve was bore the match. I think we had a good day yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, great trip down. Good big shout out to Paul who did the driving. Great to spend a bit of time with you. I know Pablo's been to a few away games with you. Good to spend a bit of time with you and go down. But yeah, it was great.
For that Burger King, you said it was there, was not there. Right?
Hold on, can I just say as well, the other reason we got beat yesterday was because Darren kept going on about having a strawberry milkshake before the match. Well, that's now cancelled. He can't have one before the match. Darren, you're just going to have to drink lager, I'm afraid.
Well, Steve, like I say, the game, Nick Pope, it's so frustrating. I'm done with Nick Pope now. I'm sorry. He needs to be dropped for Wednesday. 100%. He's dead unreliable. Yes, he may come play again and may make a couple of saves, but that's a crucial time. We win 1-0, catch the pig and ball, and he punished it, and they score. And the second goal you look at is still a bit dodgy. The third goal a bit dodgy. You can't just blame Nick Pope all over the field. We're dreadful, weren't we? It was lacklustre, heartless at times. Very slow left to right. Voldemort keep coming deep, which I don't like. Again, I got questions at his substitution at half time. I know Gordon had to be pulled because he was dreadful. I'm not saying that everybody's dreadful. I can't even. I can give the kid from Dello come on the pitch at half time. I thought he tried to create something when he come on the pitch. but it was very poor. Like I say, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go all the way down there, and you play like that. It's so just what's the word I'm looking for? Just lackluster, heartless enough for them, and you're on a low, aren't you? Say, the day I have not looked at any social media. I haven't looked at YouTube all day, deliberately, because I can. I'm just more disappointed on the performance. That's probably the worst thing, is, I mean, like, you can't even joke about yesterday, can you? Well, I can't yesterday, because the trip in the training on the back seat, whether he was quiet, we weren't even saying much. We could come out with water, said that was absolutely rubbish. We're right. So it's just like, you can't accept that. You got to look at the players. Is that how they played? At least pick the team to start. You've got to look at the players, how our boys said. You look at them, and then you do question anyone on subs. And is any only one dimensional? Can he not change the formation? Because it's the teams know how we play. So to me, you need to change. You need to change something, because it's not working, the formation. We're not scoring goals. So it is kind of worrying that way. And like I say, I think I'm prediction 8th or 9th this season is looking good. With nothing. So I am a bit. He's still a bit wound up with the performance, like I say, because it was rubbish. I wish Matt was on the program they did, because he said top second. Newcastle finished top second. Can't hell's chance on that performance. So I'll pass on the boys. Like I said, I'm on the same path as you, Steve. To be fair, I think you said I agree with.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look, don't forget, Newcastle won 3 games beforehand. They won 3 home games, Champions League, of course, into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. There is a lot to be positive about. It's the league form that is worrying. And, we want Europe to be season after season. We don't just want Europe to be this season and then not next season. And, it's no good going in and out. So, George, give us your take on the game, mate. How did you see it? What's your feelings on that performance today?
Well, if it was poor for you who were at the match, I can tell you it didn't look any better on the television either. I have to say, I give the game away when I realised that Eddie Howe hadn't talked to Darren about the team selection before the game. Because, the European Cup match, he picked the bloody team. I mean, that's why I got gobsmacked George there. I mean, he didn't just pick 1 or 2, he picked a lot. And we were all sitting saying, "Oh, Willock, what the hell you want Willock for? Dear me." He ended up being one of the best players on the pitch. Never mind, that's another story. It was just awful. There were other things that bothered me last week. I didn't say them on the show. And one of them was that they'd had a run of 5 defeats since the Nunes had gone in there, which is an exact replica of what Nunes did at Wolves and at Nottingham Forest. In game 6, he finds a team that wins a game, and he did it again to us. And there's no mystery to me about Bruno. Every time we play West Ham, Paqueta, who only plays when he wants to, if you watch West Ham at all, always plays against Newcastle United, because he silences Bruno. He puts him in his pocket, and that's the end of it. And Bruno doesn't know how to get out of it. It really is amazing that time and again, even at St James's Park, Paqueta shadows Bruno out of the game completely, and that's how we've lost it at St James's as well. So much which went terribly wrong. Pope's gone for me, I'm afraid. After that, I cannot understand how somebody, professional footballer, as long as he's been, suddenly reverts to something that cost him before and cost us dearly yesterday. I mean, Darren's absolutely right. You could pick a hole in each of the 3 goals and put Pope's name on it. We've had games where the front couple have not played well. We've had games where the front couple haven't played well. We've had games where the front couple and the 3 midfielders haven't played well. But what's got us through is that Stonewall at the back. The Stonewall didn't play bloody well yesterday. It was amazing. And I think looking at time and time again, there are things you can squeeze some sense out of. For example, I think the penalty against Chow was harsh, in my opinion. Even looking at the speed that VAR did, he got the ball long before he got the player. At least his studs took the ball. Anyway, that's looking for crumbs, isn't it? No, it shouldn't be looking at crumbs at this stage of the season. And after that, you're absolutely right. Botman usually, Man Mountain, Steady Eddie, just completely disappeared. And Emil Kraft, who until yesterday, I don't think he's ever had a bad game. He always does his best. Well, he was awful yesterday. There's no question about that. And to Murphy, who tries his level best and did score a good goal, and then missed the one which was easier to put in the back of the net. So all round, just a miserable afternoon for everybody. It's puzzling that we have this breakdown at away games and other games. But yesterday, I have to say, I'm loath to criticise Eddie Howe too much, but he had to take some of the criticism yesterday. The substitutions were dreadful. And if we got the resort to one of the best midfielders in Europe playing right back, then there's something bloody wrong for me, honestly, football terms. It was just nonsensical. If he could, I hope he can explain some of that when he gets the chance. He'd obviously read the right act at half time, but to what effect? I didn't notice any difference. If anything, we went backwards, not forwards. And it was, just a miserable day. Even Mr. Delusional has to accept that wasn't very good. I know it's going to make it harder for us to win the league, but never mind. We might win 2 cups, we might win 3. Who knows? There's lots of positive in it, but what a really, really bad day. And you're right. You couldn't pick a man of the match because there wasn't such a thing. It was who played the least worst. But 4 goals for me, definitely. And I'd be thinking about what we do up front because Valdemar, is never going to get a sniff if we play like that. And he still tries his legs off. So it's just a miserable day for everybody, really. And I honestly did think on before the match that this is exactly what Nunes did at Wolves, what he did at Nottingham Forest. 5th game in, he finds a winning team. But the architect of it for me was Paqueta. Paqueta was outstanding. And the other thing he did was he just blots Bruno out of the game. He's got Bruno in his pocket every time he faces him. And that's quite something. I mean, we nearly looked at Paqueta, but I'm glad we didn't because he only plays about once every 6 games, and because he would choose the game to play for us to have his best game. So not the best thing. And so I wish could be there with you when you travel away, and I remember days fondly when I used to. If that ground isn't very good, their old ground wasn't very good. Anybody that's been to Upland Park was one of the worst away visits ever. And I can remember being along with my son and others marching down from the tube station to Upland Park between two rows of policemen, and the West Ham fans are behind the rows of policemen lobbing bottles of liquid. I'm not going to even say what sort of liquid it was that were, and now and again the cop having an odd kick up somebody's bum. Oh no, it wasn't. It would never been a very happy place. But that is a dreadful stadium. Dreadful stadium. So I'll stop moaning now and look forward to prediction for Wednesday and after.
Okay, cheers, George. Jeff, over to you.
Well, George was saying about a famous West Ham fan And he was famous for being violent. I think they made a documentary about him as being
Yeah.
the nation's most violent fan. Something to be proud of. The point is, as we were saying a few weeks ago, we don't expect to be beaten, right? I don't even throughout that game. I still don't expect to be beaten, and I always felt we're sort of always in it. But unfortunately, we sort of hit a brick wall. And it's important to remember that we won a cup. We didn't win the league. We were 4th, 7th, 5th. We're currently 13th. It's not the end of the world. And to get beaten by a club, obviously, that's named after a pork product is not good. And on the subject of West Ham, don't forget, it's not a little club, right? It was founded by current regime is Sullivan's thing, based on his Empire Sex Shop. He put 33 million quid into it. They've got a £132 million budget for their transfers. They're working a £32 million overdraft. We're currently subsidising that stadium for £1 million a day, the taxpayers. And according to the local fan database, right, there are 700,000 fans registered locally. That's the population of Geordieland, right? That's about the size of our population, and they've got that in registered fans. So they're not a little club, right? So what happened? Well, I was wearing the wrong shirt, and while we're on the subject of shirts, our friends at UEFA have been complaining about poppies on our shirts. Perhaps we should give them gold poppies. Remember their role in the war. Thank you, the Swiss. Gordon wasn't very good, but then again, you name him after some comedy characters from the Commando Club. It's possibly because we saw Ramsdale the week recently, who looked really good, didn't he? And we had old Pope punching like some sort of demented boxer. Perhaps he's getting a bit punch drunk. I'm not sure what it was like. I thought Malik Chow was extraordinarily good, doing the best he could. Tonali was sort of there all the place, but it sort of didn't work. And as you said, not scoring goals. That's a great bit of punditry. We're not going to win games. Though the best bit I heard all week was when we scored early and they said, that's not supposed to happen, which I thought was brilliant. Brilliant bit of punditry. Nuno is good. And we were talking about this turning business and how if you mark them or you double mark them, they're just going to keep turning. Bruno in particular is a great one for turning. They used to lay the ball off. Now we turn our defensive midfielders and they just nick the ball off us, constantly nicking the ball off us. It was just embarrassing. And also we have to be aware that there are knocks, there are injuries. There's been a lot of flu about. There's also a lot of COVID-19 in various forms kicking around, and it may have affected them. Perhaps the weather's affecting people with altitude sickness. I don't know. We've got a lot of tall players, but by and large, I'm not sure where we go with all of this. But
I'll tell you where we'll go, Jeff. We'll get Rex.
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 It's your moment. There you go, fella.
Hey, good old Rex.
Yeah, he's enjoying the cricket. Good boy.
Thank you, Jeff, for your trip into Jeff's world. Alan, give us your views on the match. You've been criticised quite a bit in the last couple of weeks for being negative, and me and Darren were talking about it yesterday. He says he's still got the title, but I still think you've got the title this year. Has been probably one of the most negative, or would some say realist? I don't know. We'll find out at the end of the season.
That's what I think, Steve. Realist. Me and Darren are in the same boat because Harry Houdini won't get us in the top 5. It's just absolutely. It's a shock how bad. I even have predicted a 3-1 win. Anybody that thinks we can make top 5 is living totally in dreamland. We've got 14 away games, lads. and everybody in the chat, we still haven't faced anybody in the top 6. Arsenal, we've never won there in 20 years. Liverpool, we've never won there in 25 years. Chelsea, we've never won there in 15 years. Man United, we've only won there 3 times in 50 years. The only top 6 team we've won on a pretty regular basis is Spurs. And then we've still got to go to Crystal Palace. We've got 14 games, and 7 of them are rock hard that we've hardly ever won at. So if people think that we're going to get in the top 5, the only good thing that came about that is I hope Ian Toon Trader has counted his £100 out for the food bank, because my money is safe. It was absolutely shocking from top to bottom. Midfield, what worries me, Steve, as well as the goals, is we had 70% possession in the second half, and we never had a shot on goal. Midfield, you talk about it being the best in the league. Forget about that title. I don't know where that comes from. Between Bruno, you're right what you're saying. The nullified by midfield, Steve, but our wingers surely can do better than that. And for once, I have to agree with everybody. Eddie needs criticising for the substitutions. They were absolutely diabolical, absolutely terrible how he done that. I take no positives away apart from saving myself £100 at the end of the season. But honestly, it's absolutely shocking. Does anybody believe we'll go to Brentford next week and win? Really?
Yes.
We're all hoping. We're hoping, but
yes.
see your hand in heart. We're confident.
How is it all the statistics you reel off are negative? Totally negative.
It's not negative, George. It's fact. You've got to face facts. We've played 5 away games this season, and we've scored 2 goals. It's the players' mentality when they leave St James's Park. They get nosebleeds as soon as they go over the Tyne Bridge.
It's when there's a Y in the month, I think.
To be fair to Eddie Howe, Steve, 70 years before that were average between 1950 to 2020 was 4 away wins. Eddie Howe, in the 4 years he's been, we've won 7 on average away. We must win 7, 8 to get in the top 5, George. That's why I'm talking about facts and not believing we'll get in the top 5 for. And then we've got to keep going as well. The next 3 fixtures are rock hard. So I'll leave it at that, because I could criticise every player on that pitch. But what's the use? That was a terrible performance, and Eddie shares the blame for it. But I look forward to Wednesday. I'll be there cheering the lads on, and I want to win. But I'm more looking forward to Brentford and seeing what the excuse is going to be next Sunday, Steve. In my eyes, I'm not negative. I'm actually optimistic, because I picked 9th. So we're 13th now. So I'm actually optimistic about the season as it stands now. So if people say I'm negative, I don't do it. I thought this would happen because Voldemort is not a main striker. We are desperate for a striker in that team. Murphy had a couple of balls in the second half. If the main striker had been there, we could have scored. There's nobody. Gordon is not a natural finisher. Elanga isn't a natural finisher. We've got nobody apart from Voldemort who is actually covered over the massive crack of not having a main striker in the team. But I'll leave it at that and let Al Walid go on, and he might be calmer than me, but I'm still raging me that I expected it to win. So does that make me deluded? No, I expected us to beat West Ham, and going forward, I'm going back to believing that we're not going to win again until we actually do. But no, I'm absolutely shocked and saddened at that performance, Steve, because the players want to look in the mirror at that performance. That was shocking. I'll leave it.
Alan, that's what the fans forum is all about. It's all about opinions. Al Walid, did you enjoy the game in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I enjoy always watching Newcastle, of course, regardless the result. But I believe I could say Newcastle was maybe expected an easy game. And after the scoring the first goal early, I think the team maybe got a bit that, okay, we get this. And I believe the team also try to distribute the stamina. I mean, like saving energy for the Champions League game and the next games. Because it's hard for Newcastle to play. I believe Eddie Howe and the team, they have great formation, strong performance, but it's very exhausted. And the player, I believe that they do 90% of their performance every game is limited. So if we need to win a game, especially in Premier League, you have to put 100%. You may win a game. So that's, I believe we didn't play 100%. As I said, we expect an easy game. But the good sign, it's as you said, Steve, it's after 3 win. So I think I believe Newcastle will pass this very soon.
Okay, well, that's a bit more positive from Al Walid and a bit calmer, as Alan suggested. Adam, it's your debut tonight on the fans forum. Give us your views, mate. I wish it was a happier occasion for your first show.
Well, when you've got a dad who's a Sunderland supporter and sends you the cover of Green Street, the song of West Ham, it kind of gets you in the bad mood straight away. So once that had all blown over and I'd calmed down, I think some points Alan's just made, they're very, very valid, and it's coming from a passionate point of view, really. For myself, I think Eddie Howe's got to rediscover his best 11, and he hasn't done that yet. There's been so many changes in the transfer window, obviously lost the main point of Isak, and he's not figured out how to use Walter Marda to his full strength yet. I think once Vissa's back and he's match fit and he's ready to go, you've got to put him in because he offers a different dynamic. Do you go back to the old way of playing football and trying the 4-4-2 or having them play it together? Who knows? But that's where you need to buy another striker. I think watching it yesterday, Eddie Howe did get his substitutions all wrong, which was mentioned earlier. I think it was square pegs and round holes, especially when you've got the likes of Tonali going right back and things like that. They must have took a leaf out of Slott's book with Szoboszlai going in there for Liverpool. He must have thought he could do the same with Sandro. I don't think it's panic stations at all. I think it is a little dip. And like I said before, Eddie Howe's got to discover his best 11. You look at all the competitions we're playing in, we're still in every single competition. Them games catch up and the players are looking leggy, they're looking tired. It's natural. You got to think of someone who's in a regular 9 to 5 job and you've worked Monday or Friday, you finish the week and you're tired. There's loads of demand on these boys and they're playing every couple of days. I think a good example was when Crystal Palace showed they had 4 games in 8 days or something like that. I think from a goalkeeper's point of view, if you're Aaron Ramsdale, you're sitting on the bench very frustrated. I think you pull off a good performance like against one of the so-called top 6 sides the other night, keep a clean sheet, and you find yourself stuck on the bench. I'd be knocking on the door and asking why. I think it offers a different dynamic to Newcastle's back line. I think all of us can agree the ball gets passed back to Nick Pope and we're all thinking, oh Christ, what's he going to do next? With Ramsdale, something can be pulled off. You can pick someone out. You can pivot on the turn and play it a different way. It is a different element. And I think the pressure is starting to build because the lads from over the water are in the same league now. I think if they were still in the Championship or wherever they've been, would be a lot calmer. I think because they're in the same division now, we're thinking, oh Christ, they could go second tonight. And it does build. We're looking and we see them all laughing. We see them all making a joke of it. And it's frustrating as supporters where you want to be up there and being able to laugh at them as we have done for nearly a decade. And now that the shoe's on the other foot, as fans, we're getting beat by teams we shouldn't be getting beat by. And we're thinking, this isn't right. And it's not really. For Nuno, for me, there's not many better in the Premier League that are tactically aware than Nuno. I think, as one of the lads has said before, he's picked his best 11 and now he'll stick with that. What Nuno's done, he didn't do it at Tottenham, but he did it at Wolves and Forest. He plays with the low block and he gets all the players organised. And there's one thing that keeps you up in the Premier League and gets you safe is organisation. And you look at the 2 11s on paper, it's not even close apart from Paqueta, who is the star player when he wants to turn up and play. And I think what George was saying before, obviously Bruno, I think he just gets too involved trying to outshine Paqueta and forgets what his game actually is. And that's happened on every single occasion because I think Paquette has scored in every game he's played. But no, that's my view. I think it's not panic stations. It's how quick do you bounce back on Wednesday. I think an early goal is needed. Otherwise, the pressure in the stadium just get builds and builds and builds. And that's when you find at half time and things like that. The boos might start ringing out and things like that. And against Brentford, am I hopeful? I'm always hopeful. But realistically, it's going to be a very hard game. It's going to be a very hard game. A team that sits one place above her in the league. And I think they're starting to find a bit of rhythm as well. I think no team goes to Anfield, although Liverpool's on a dip, but no team goes to Anfield and plays the way they did. And we expect to go to their home ground and expect to be a walk in the park.
Yeah, good stuff, Adam. Thank you very much. And don't forget, Adam is live at the Clooney. Tickets £15, 21st of December. But he's also going to be coming along this month to do a couple of songs at the Christmas do with Warren Barton. Tickets on sale on nufcmatterspodcast.uk. And 21st of November, going to be a good night, that. Okay, Pablo, over to you, mate.
One of them lads, isn't it? If we'd have been doing this show at 4:30 last night, I can guarantee there'd have been a YouTube ban enforced on me. You know, and I've said that a couple of times. I think after 24 hours of letting it kick in, settle in, I think a lot of what the lads have said, you know, is very valid. I concur with Alan's passion. I feel kind of the same as Alan. I think probably the hard part for me is will the real Newcastle United stand up? You know, we see that excellent performance against Tottenham not but a few days prior. And you're kind of thinking, that's the one that's going to spur us on. That's the one that's going to kick us in. And then again, we fall flat of a weekend, and that tends to happen, you know, the Benfica game, same again. And I think that's the annoying part for us at the minute is because we just don't, it's the same players on the pitch, but we're just getting such a fluctuation in kind of performance levels and, you know, and results that I think as fans we're probably a little confused. I think with yesterday, I think it's a wasted opportunity. You know, we actually got our noses in front, having probably should have been 1-0 down with Bowen hitting the post. I mean, that could have gone either way. So we've given ourselves that real springboard to then go and grasp it. And we just, what I saw unfold in front of us is, I don't know, I can't describe it. You know, I can pick on certain individuals, and I wouldn't say pick on them. And people in the chat, what they need to understand, and I think everyone does, because we come on a Monday night a little bit airy and give an opinion after a defeat, doesn't mean to say we're blasting the players as a whole already as a whole, but we're simply looking at a situation, certainly namely on Sunday, which wasn't acceptable, you know, with the usual performances we put in, what we expect. We are a Champions League qualifying football club, and we're one of the only teams this year to make West Ham look like a football team. You know, we can talk about how good Nuno is. We can talk about the situation at another club. Take responsibility for our own kind of performance levels, team selection, whatever it may be. It's up to us. I'm going to go off on an Alan in a minute. I'm going to get all irate. But
do it, Pablo, do it.
We can start looking at other things. But again, it's isolated. It's how I feel currently. Having watched that 90 minutes of absolute shite. And that's what we can call it. And that's fine. And we'll move on. And I'll still be positive for the midweek game. I'll still be positive for the next. But I'm going to pick two. You know, people have said about Nick Pope. I've said it time and time again. And I had it out with one of my best mates yesterday, who's a Geordie fan. And he said, are you absolutely mental? He's in the form of his life. And I said, well, describe to me what the form of your life is. You know, he picks, for me, Nick Pope, I've said it a million times, he will make 3 or 4 Hollywood saves. And don't get me wrong, they look phenomenal. And he's kept us in the game. We keep hearing this. He's kept us in the game. Well, he shouldn't be keeping us in the game. But then what he'll do after them 3 saves, there'll be 3 key decisions that he'll need to make. And it's the same shit every time. He's the best volleyball player I've ever seen in my life. He flaps at things. He comes across. He slaps them. And you know what? I'm sick of it I'm sick of it. Eddie Howe's paid a lot of money to look at this and see this. And if he can't see that shit every week, there's no point in us going. Because, and I'm not dissing the lad, Nick Pope at another football club will be a real asset, a great lad. He is a great lad, it seems. But he isn't at this level. And how many times do we have to see the same mistakes every week? And then the pressure builds on the other lads. Then the pressure comes from the fans. Eddie, make the decision. How many times do I have to tell you? Ramsdale, great audition in midweek, 2-0, against Tottenham. What more does that lad need to do? It beggars belief. But Eddie has his favourites, and unfortunately, his favourites are the ones that are letting us down currently. Maybe I'm going off on a tangent here, lads, but I'm going to pick another one while I'm on my high horse. I understand what I'm about to say will probably divide the chat. So for me, I'm going to look at Nick Walter-Mardy. I understand the lad has come in. We're now 15 games into his career, and it's purely what I saw yesterday and what I've seen in games. What I want us to do is take our rose-tinted glasses off about the goals that he scored, and I want us to focus. When we were at arses against the wall yesterday, I'm watching players diverting all over the shop, trying to win that ball back. I did not see that lad bust a jog. His stepometer must have read 10 yesterday. Now, listen, there may be reasons for it. There'll be some shite that comes out that he's got a cold or something like that. That's fine. But I'm giving it, he isn't the be-all and end-all. But I also understand he isn't the ready-made striker. But I think we're sugarcoating it. And what that does, that puts pressure on Gordon, Murphy, because they're having to do is ratting about. This is where I think ultimately we have come unstuck. I think we're a confused football team at the minute. We had a pressing game last year. We've been very successful with a pressing kind of style. Now, unfortunately, it's been forced upon us. We can't necessarily do that with him up front. We're neither good enough to play a possession-based football like Man City or Arsenal. So I think at the middle, we're confused at the minute. We're scrapping around, trying to work out exactly what we can do, who we are, and how we're going to do it. And I think that's the only position we're in, the fact that we're in limbo town because we don't know who we are at the minute. I'll leave it there, lads.
Great points, Pablo. Great points.
Good stuff.
Pablo.
Okay, Kevin, last but by no means least, give us your take on the match at the weekend.
Well, you said it in the group message, shite. But anyway, before I start, I just want to give a shout out to one of my dad's mates at Bristol Street Motors and Virtue Motors. He is happily retired now. And I've seen on his Facebook timeline forever and ever how many days, months, years, minutes, seconds. And officially today was his first day off work for 50 years at Bristol Street Motors, working there with my dad. And so I just want to give him a shout out to Peter Welsh. So congratulations, mate. You've earned it. I've been to many a football match with him, seen him cry, seen him been through it all, been through the mill with him. So, and he looked after my dad when he was in his latter days in his life. So it means a lot to me, that lad. So happy retirement.
Congratulations. Yep, congratulations.
Yeah, so normally, recently I haven't been taking notes, but as you can see, I've been taking notes. Not that it means much, but and I'm piggybacking off Pablo, to be honest, and I completely agree in that we've lost our identity. We don't know, I totally agree. We don't know where our possession based, our high pressing team. Where do we press? When or when do we not do certain things in certain moments in games? When we go 1-0 up, we drop off. Normally, typically, if you go 1-0 up, it doesn't matter what level of football. Sunday morning, Saturday afternoons, Premier League, doesn't matter. When you go 1-0 up, you go get the second one. Go get the third one. Don't concede. Ultimately, and again, agree with Pablo, that we've completely bamboozled ourselves of what we actually are and who we actually are. And I wrote down here, and like I said, I've wrote down a whole bunch of crap. But we're boring. It's boring. It's not a good watch. I was doing the dishes yesterday afternoon whilst I was kind of trying to sort of watch a game of football with my kids. That's how bad it's got for me to do that on a Sunday, waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning to watch this thing and then go and do the dishes. How sad's that? It's not entertaining anymore. So therefore, something needs to change. I agree in the fact that I think Pope I agree with Darren and George. I think Pope's done. And I wrote down, I think there was always going to be a changing of the guard at some point. We just didn't know when it was going to be. And that was it for me. Yesterday that was it. That was the turning point, the change, the moment in the season where he has to make the ultimate decision that Nick Pope's not going to be his number one. And I nearly wet myself when Pablo said he's the best volleyball player I've ever seen in my life, because he is. Why is he starting? Why is he punching? He's double fisting it. Yes, you get taught as a goalkeeper to punch with your top hand and all the rest of it, but that's technical. and I can go across the full team, in that every player on that park yesterday was technically poor. Regardless of attitude, the professional footballers, that's a minimum. That's you do your job, you work hard, that's what you're supposed to do. Outside of that, we're given a 5-10 yard passing it out of play. How is that possible? Because they're not good enough. You can look at Joe Linton, you can even look at, you can go through the whole lot. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter yesterday. You can go through the whole lot. And what the agitation is, we as a fan base, and we've built them up and put them on a pedestal that high. Mm-hmm. Now we're realizing what actual type of players we actually have. Yes, we've got a deeper squad. Yes, all the narratives that we can pull out of our backside. Yes, but it's not good enough. Is it just a general standard as a football team? It's just not good enough. It hasn't been. I don't know. Yes, even though when we've lost 2 out of 7, but has it been great to watch? Not really. We're getting by. We're just doing enough to win games. We're being clever, and Nuno done us yesterday. Properly done it. He's a very, very good coach, and he's a very good manager at what he does. George is brilliant. I didn't even know what that stat what George pulled out. That was a brilliant stat in terms of 5 games. Then when he's next one, it was just so happened to be Newcastle United yesterday. That was his 6th game. I didn't know that stat. That's a brilliant stat, by the way. So it's just a sad state of affairs. I mean, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be. I'm always trying to be. I look at it from a different perspective. But Eddie got outdone yesterday again.
Yeah.
Whole coaching team got done again. How many times? And look, I could have put my job application in for it. The set play coach. How many goals we scored from set plays?
1.
And that was last weekend, Wednesday against Tottenham.
Yeah, 1.
Everyone hits the first man. The first contact is who? The
opposition.
opposition.
We've actually got worse on set pieces now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, because it's overcomplicating it. So if you chuck a ball in the box, typical corner, the opposition team, keeper punches, catches, whatever, centre half wins the first contact, all of the above. We're not getting in. We're not creating the first contact, the second balls, anything. It's just been overcomplicated. The long throw, and this is a great with me. Why in the world is Dan Burn taking a long throw?
Eddie actually mentioned that this week, and he said that they did have a competition in the past to see who could throw the ball the longest. And Dan Burn.
Further than that, he's got a broken hand. He's got broken bones in his hand, and he can't. And he's one of the biggest lads in our team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can throw it short and create a cross. You can do something different rather than just being traditional, old school. Like everybody's went down the Brentford road. Everybody's went down the set play with the Arsenals and the Brentfords of that. They were successful last year. So it just baffles me. I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I think Eddie was lost and confused. I think the team are lost and confused. I think they need, and Eddie said it in his press conference, I think they need to have a good hard look at themselves. I mean, genuine hard look at themselves. And really, what do they want out the season?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, interesting stuff.
The double irk for me, Kevin, is that if you watch Dan Burn and whoever takes the long throws for us in these matches, most of them are foul throws anyway.
I think about that. I think about you all the time when a foul throw. Every time foul throw. It's just odd, but either way.
Okay, we'll do the ads at the end of the show. Got 10 minutes left. Just going to go around the board and get the lads' predictions for the next 2 games. Champions League, of course. Newcastle have played well in recent weeks, and could get to 9 points with a win over Bilbao, who are faltering. They got beat 3-2 in the derby at the weekend. So that game, of course, comes up on Wednesday. Then we've got Brentford, trip to Brentford on Sunday. So Darren, come to you first. How do you see both games going?
We'll probably turn them on Wednesday, won't we? After that performance, the players will turn up and want to play. Hopefully, I'll go for a 2-1 win.
Okay, 2-1 win in the Champions League. And what about Brentford away?
And then we'll play good, and then we might play shit again on Sunday. That's the thing I'm worried about, because Brentford's a good team. They're an attacking team. Can we cope with that? We've got nothing. I can't put a lucky 1-1 draw if we're lucky. Away performance not being good. I'll pray for 1-1 draw. If not, it's going to be a defeat.
Okay, Darren. Cheers. George?
Well, Mr. Delusional's back. The Iberian Peninsula teams very rarely do well at St James's Park, so I would expect us to do very nicely on Wednesday night, even 3-0 nicely. Brentford at the weekends is a different kettle of fish. Darren's absolutely right. A good team who are starting to play very well. However, I'm still positive enough to think that I can't believe that Marek Chow and Botman or Shah, whoever's in the back three, could play as bad as that again 2 games in a row. So I think it'll be a lucky 1-0 win.
Okay. Jeff?
Yeah, well, we keep talking about stable teams, but you look around the board, everybody's teams are falling to bits. You know, how are Liverpool doing? Somebody did them a favour and let them win the other day. I say 3-0 and 3-0. Because remember, any team can beat any team in the Premiership. This used to be the great claim, right? Now we got beaten. It's, oh my God, it's over. No, 3-0, 3-0.
Wow. Go on, Jeff.
Absolutely no way.
Jeff, come on.
Sorry, Jeff.
What are you
I'll second that. Darren, I'll second that.
So you have to tell me, you are delusional.
I'll second that.
We're not going to be
I got one right the other day. That was frightening. Yeah.
You're going to be wrong.
To be
You're
fair,
going to be
you
wrong on Sunday, put it that way.
Yeah, I did get one right, so you've got to be
But not on
careful.
Sunday. You'll be wrong on Sunday. I can guarantee you that.
Okay, yeah. Alan?
I think we'll win 2-1 on Wednesday. I'm hoping, because I'm there. Lucky charm.
Good.
And I think we get beat up Brentford 3-1.
Right, 3-1, okay. Alvalid?
Atletico Bilbao win Newcastle 2-1. Brentford, I'm not really optimistic about it. So maybe 1-0 lose.
Okay. Adam?
I'm going to go with 2-0 on Wednesday to Newcastle. And then I'm on the same wavelength as Darren. I think we'll be lucky if we get a 1-1.
Okay. Pablo?
2-0 against Bilbao, because I think after that it's natural to have a reaction. I think we will see that against Bilbao. I think in Europe the beauty is, I think we're getting found out in the Premier League for varying reasons, but I think in Europe we're still quite a new proposition for certain teams. So I think we'll get a 2-0 win. The Brentford, I would go with 1-1. Kevin Schade to score for Brentford. And Jeff, I'm going to offer the same deal as I did the other week. If we win 3-0 and 3-0, I'll donate £100 at Food Bank. It nearly tripped me up the other week, didn't it?
Nearly got you. Nearly got you.
You've got it on record. I'll do it again.
Go on, Pablo. Go on, son. Go on.
Good stuff.
We'll win by inches.
Absolutely.
We're going to get more than that, Jeff. Put it that way.
There's one thing Jeff Pablo will pay up anyway.
Yeah.
Kevin?
$9 though.
No.
That's all I've got. Where Athletic Club, I think we'll beat them 1-0. But Brentford, I think we'll get beat 2-0. I just can't see where goals are coming from, to be perfectly honest. It's just, again, a sad state of affairs. Unless Eddie pulls a bit of magic out of a hat, I just don't see where goals are coming from. So I think, again, like I said, 1-0 against Athletic Club, and then getting beat 2-0 off Brentford, because I think they're a very, very difficult side to play against. And I don't think we'll deal with their physicality and their way they play. I just don't think we'll be able to handle it.
Great stuff. Thank you to Kevin, Pablo, Alwaleed, Alan, Jeff and Rex, Gobsmack George, Darren, Mr. Negativity, and well done to Adam on a fine debut tonight.
Well done. Yeah.
Back tomorrow.
Alan.
Back tomorrow at 5 o'clock with the amigos.
We'll
Look
have to
forward
get a
seeing you all
nickname
then.
for the Young League.
Take care, everybody. Good
Thanks,
night.
Blood.
Cheers, lads.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them at www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickies.co.uk, email info@mrvickies.co.uk, or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2 crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. Hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com, email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com, telephone 01670 632 460 or 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. And if you like listening to us as a podcast, you can go to Sports Social Podcast Network or to iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, then hit the subscribe button. It's free. We do 7 shows a week. Hit the little thumb up under the video, which is the like button, or click share to share to your social media. You can also join the channel on YouTube by hitting the join button for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become an NUFC Matters member, you can go to nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. It's a £25 one-off fee. You get your pen, you get your badge, a key ring, you get your beer mat and your fridge magnet and your membership card, nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk for that. And we have an event early next year, 13th of February 2026, an evening with Beardsley, Waddle and Gascoigne takes place at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. To buy your tickets for that event, go to the box office 0191 243 1171 or Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk.